All right. What's up, Patreon? This is Jay Alletto, and I'm going to give you my take on Leaving Neverland, the Michael Jackson expose documentary, so to speak, whatever you want to call it, that was released just recently, I think a couple months ago on HBO. And it's basically a story of these two guys who had defended Michael Jackson in the past when they were children and when they were young adults in their 20s. And they defended him. They spent a lot of time with Michael, but now they are accusing him of the most heinous of acts. And look, man, I'll give you my take. And if you give a shit enough to watch this, I appreciate that. So my take on this is I went into it with a preconceived judgment on Michael Jackson. And look, there's no evidence here, obviously. He's been accused of this twice in the past. And, both times he was found either not guilty, or the first time I think there was a plea deal. I can't really remember the specifics. I'm not an expert on this case by any means. But, I went in with this preconceived idea that Michael Jackson was just a sick fuck pedophile. And I came out of it not so sure. And the reason I had that preconceived idea, look, my mind's always open. I'm always open to possibilities and what maybe, is perceived to be something and really isn't. So, I went into it thinking he was a pedophile because of the way I was raised. These stories were big in the 90s, and I was just a kid in the 90s, And in my household, everybody thought he was a pedophile. Everybody thought he was guilty, just like OJ. Everybody thought OJ was guilty. Probably was, but everybody thought he was guilty. And, he got off. He was found not guilty. There was never any evidence provided that Michael Jackson did these heinous acts, but he was accused so many times. And it might just be... I don't know. I went into it with preconceived notions and I came out a skeptic, and here's why. This seemed like a money grab to me. It seemed like this monumental money grab and nothing more than that. These two kids, guys now, they're in their 40s or something. They're both actors. They came up in this business in Hollywood, hanging out with Michael Jackson and whatever they did, the weirdness, whatever it was. Regardless of whatever happened, it's super weird. It's a super weird lifestyle to live. You're hanging out with kids all the time. Like, that's strange. It's different. But we don't know what happened, man. We can only take these kids' word. And both of them had defended him in the past, and they actually went over that. Like, they said that they defended him because he told them that they would go to jail and they would never get to see each other again and all this stuff. And the detail was fucking horrific. Like, I did not need to hear any of that stuff. Like, it just seems like it was convenient that Michael Jackson has died. He's been dead for 10 years about now, maybe more. And, his music is iconic. He's one of the most famous people in history. In the history of mankind, like Michael Jackson, one of the most famous people. So, and he's worth billions of dollars, even dead. And they're obviously looking for money. There's I think a fucking 9-figure lawsuit, like $100-something million lawsuit. I'm not sure of the numbers, but it just feels like a money grab. And if your point is to let everybody know that Michael Jackson really isn't what that you thought he was, why are you suing for this kind of money? I mean, look, there's no way to prove it. There's no evidence, man. Michael Jackson can't defend himself. He's not here. That's why it sounds like a money grab. And I'm skeptical. I'm not saying Michael Jackson didn't do anything ever to any of these kids, but if you look into it, especially if you look into the other side of the story, which I always look into, you have to look into the other side of things. If you're not looking into the other side of the story, regardless of what it is, Trump and Russia, 9/11, JFK assassination, whatever the fuck, look into the other sides of the story, because there's one side that you usually hear, and then, there's a different side out there. Sometimes multiple different sides. So look into the other sides of the story, guys. And I did my research. I looked into a little bit of the other side of the Michael Jackson story, and believe it or not, there are more kids that have defended Michael Jackson over the years than have accused Michael Jackson. There are kids that have explained, and Macaulay Culkin's one of them, and you can see those interviews on YouTube, explained in great detail what happened in those bedrooms. Now look, he could have been molesting Macaulay, and Macaulay's just defending him. Who knows? We don't know, and that's the problem. So it feels like a money grab. And that's my take, guys. I got asked about this in the Periscope show, so I figured I would just give you guys a short little video. And if you care enough to pay that $1, I appreciate it. And patreon.com/PWPNation if you're watching this on YouTube. I appreciate that as well. And guys, thank you very much for supporting PWPNation.com. My name is Jay Alletto, and that's my take. Now I'm skeptical. I don't know if Michael Jackson did or not, but I am a skeptic. forever.